All right, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to ALG, which is Advanced Lead Generation 102, New Business Now. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Where you want to be. We want you to grow your business at top speed. And the goal is to interconnect your sources in a way that makes sense for your business, creates the maximum amount of leverage for your efforts, and yields the maximum number of leads. You can see, we'll look at this some more. FSBO's expired, social media, now business versus future business, prospecting versus marketing, open houses, farming, internet leads. Like I always teach, you really don't want to be a one-horse show. You want to have a variety of things that you do and prospects that you target to be successful. When everything seems to be going against you, just remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Henry Ford, who obviously invented automobiles and Ford Motor Company. So let's look at a spotlight on your business. What is your savvy with using social media to build your sphere and generate your leads? Are you using social media? Is this part of your strategy? Are you a user, not a user? Are you a new user? Are you a sometimes user? That's the biggest group I see is people that sometimes on, sometimes out. They start, they go, they post a billion things, and then you don't see anything. If you go on a realtor's Facebook page, in most cases, that's what you're going to find. You're going to see where they post consistently for a short time, and maybe they haven't posted now since 2014. I see it all the time. Are you a regular user? There's not a ton of those. And are you a power user? You got more than one account. You post daily for lead generation by posting promoted stories, leading people back to your website for contact information collection. That's what you want to be, is a power user. So ask yourself this question: how many new contacts did you make last week on social media? If your answer wasn't at least 2, 3, 4, 5, you're not doing it right, and we need to get you moving on your social media. And that's, of course, why we have our Wednesday class, which we have a great Wednesday class set up for you this week at 10 a.m. here in the office, Digital Mastery. Don't miss it. We're going to be talking about Facebook groups, how to promote them, how to get more fans, how to have content that is going to engage people, and again, help you to make contacts every week from your social media. How many closed transactions did you have last month from social media, where you met somebody on social media? Think about it. Why social media matters. The odds are in your favor. About 4 out of 5 adults you know who are on social media. There's about 333, almost 334 million people in the United States. 270 million of them are active social media users. Isn't that insane? So it's over 80%, nearly 81% of the US population is on social media. Most widely used platforms. How about YouTube beating Facebook? If you don't have a YouTube channel and you're not creating videos and putting them on there regularly, you are missing out on a way to get clients. But Facebook and Instagram being 2 and 3. Pinterest is another one. Very few realtors use that. I have Pinterest and was shocked. I didn't even know how to log into mine at one point, but I was shocked how many views it was taking a month. Shocked. And I had to change my strategy to make it more of informational and change it to being more engaging to collect information, drive people to my website. So you can see the numbers there. TikTok moving up that list at 21%. Again, video creation. You can use the same video on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. You see X on there. Still has the Twitter symbol, but X. Those videos have to be very short. But anyway, we'll talk about more of that on Wednesday. So why social media matters. Your odds increase with video. Anybody have a guess? Social media posts with video have blank percentage more views. Anybody have a guess? Also, anybody have a guess? Social video generates blank more shares than test and image content combined, and blank percentage of viewers will watch the entirety of a video if it's less than 60 seconds long. Any guesses on these?
The first one, I guess it's videos have what percentage of more views? I think there will be around 20 to 30%,
Okay,
or that's what I'm thinking.
let's find out.
Yeah, okay.
48% more.
Hey, all right. Okay.
How about this? Social video generates 1,200 more shares than
Wow.
test and image content combined, and 58% of viewers, more than
Yeah.
half, will
True.
watch the entirety of a video if it's less than 60 seconds long. So the importance here is you're seeing, unless you have something that, if you're doing a listing where you're going through and doing a tour of a house, if you're doing a tour of a town or a business review, you can go longer because people are interested in that. But when you're talking about yourself, you're doing a video business card. I tell people video business cards are 30 seconds, maybe 45. You really want to keep videos short so you get that number more than half, 58% viewing the entirety of the video. Word to the wise, my biggest roadblock to posting and using video was me. I would do 50 takes of me at an open house and not use any of them. Finally, I ripped off the Band-Aid and decided to just be myself. I still get nervous, but I've received so much positive feedback from being authentic. I have so many people, they run from two of my trainings every week. One is script mastery. People, oh, script mastery, they don't want to have to talk in public. Well, if you can't talk to your fellow realtors that are here to support you or me, how in the world are you going to talk to strangers and potential clients? You got to overcome that. Second thing is, oh, I don't like how I look on video. I don't like how my voice sounds. You've got to get over that. And you can see, this word to the wise is about that. Just do it. I've been doing videos on social media and even before social media, really, back when I owned my radio station and whatever else. And the first couple of times, like, oh my God, I sound horrible. You get so used to it, you forget the camera's on in front of you guys. I rarely do two takes. Like on the Friday video I send you guys each week, I never do two takes on that. I rarely do two takes because I don't think about it anymore. I just go. Practice, repetition, practice, repetition. Stop worrying about it being perfect. You're better with it not being perfect. People are there and they cut and they edit and they change it. People don't watch it because it's just not authentic. We're better off being authentic. The end game, a plan for the long term. Fuel positive perceptions. Know your value. Articulate why they should choose you to be your realtor. Examples, your mission. Be able to share your elevator pitch. You should be able to talk in 30 seconds about what it is you do and what value you bring. Impact statements. You should create those if you haven't yet. We did those in Step Ahead Bootcamp. Your listing and buyer tools, your network or your niches, something that, if you're a 55 and over person, if you're a condo, whatever it is, the town you know inside and out. Your expertise in real estate, demonstrate your knowledge in the local real estate market, share market updates, proof of success. Always have stories to tell, guys, an antidote. We teach that in objection handling, but it's true in everything that you do. If you can tell a story that people can relate to, they're going to relate to you and they're going to want to use you as their realtor. Testimonials always work. Transaction expertise, business knowledge, business milestones. Community knowledge, huge, guys. Talk about what and who you know in the community. Show that you know the neighborhoods, that you know the local businesses, that you know what's happening around town. That realtor, especially on social media, that all they do is post, come list your house with me. Here's my listing, just listed, just sold. Nobody cares and nobody follows them. They do care about the new restaurant that opened. They do care that there's a festival going on this weekend. So know those things and share those things. Are you a property specialist? Share information about the homes for sale in your market. Showcase how you market listings. What makes you different? If you don't have a product differentiator, let's make one for you. I'll work with you. Let's do this. Use invitations for open houses. Call just solds and just listeds. Lifestyle. Farm targets, buyers and sellers seeking amenities. Waterfront. Urban, luxury, family, golf course, guys. I'm telling you that as a golfer. Down here, people are not only buying second homes, vacation homes, they're also looking for things that they could do for investments. Life stages, retirees and things like that, first-time home buyers, dinks, double income, no kids, people with kids, common interests. Guys, if you have a common interest, use it. For those of you that some of my agents, I have a guy that does a golf group. He's an avid golfer like I am. I have another guy that does a chess one. Really chess? Yeah, and it works. Whatever your hobbies are, use them and do them. Engage with go-to prompts. I have a couple of lists of these. If you're a fan of our Facebook group, I put one on a couple of weeks ago, and they're just ways to get conversations started in social media. 3 best things to, right? Like the 3 best things to consider when buying a boat. The best of. Best homes in this area in a particular price range. Which is your favorite? What is your favorite? What's your favorite drink at the local coffee spot? What is one thing you want in your kitchen? See, these are all conversation starters, guys. They're calling them engagement, but they're conversation starters. Did you know staging your home will appeal to more buyers? Would you rather have a home library or a home gym? Gets people talking. Oh, I'd rather that, and then maybe get some debate and go back and forth. You jump in, you build relationships. Quotes. Buy land. They're not making it anymore. One of my favorite, Mark Twain quote is my favorite. I love them. A day in the life, a sneak peek into part of your day. Takes you from being salesperson to human being. We talked about this in the training earlier. You always want to be seen as a human being, not as a salesperson. Before and after. Take pictures before you stage and after. Have a calendar of content. Have a theme for each day and schedule your social media posts. I have one every Thursday that gets people all over the place in my social media groups. And it's share your business. It's share your business Thursday and get more followers, get more business. And I put the same post up every Thursday. Wednesdays, I share recipes. Have a theme for each day. Make that theme so it's engaging. Engage with a growth goal. We're going to talk about growth goals and things like this again more on Wednesday, where we're going to not really talk about it. We're going to have you do it. But let's talk about your friends. Right now you have 500, you want 600. Businesses. I got 20 businesses that follow me. How do I get to 40? Service providers, professional network, influencers, right? Look at where you are and say, how do I get more? And let's come up with a plan. And I'm going to share a plan with you on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Make sure you're here to help you get more followers. Engage with a simple formula. Engagement activity, try to get 5 likes, 3 meaningful contacts, and 1 direct message. That is what you want to do. So whenever you have an activity, that's what you're shooting for. I'm going to get 5 people to like this. I'm going to get 3 people to make a meaningful comment, not just a nice or whatever, something meaningful. And then I'm going to try and get 1 direct message. Start with the end in mind. That's what I want my post to be able to do. Does my post do that? Think about it and be systematic about creating your posts. Winning with social media. The number 1 objective for every agent is appointments and contracts. All the rest of this doesn't matter. I don't care how many followers you have. You want appointments and contracts. Social media can't take the place of prospecting. It can't take the place of making your calls or going on appointments. However, if you are doing the work, social media will be like steroids for your business by getting you in front of a wider audience. Too many agents are out there just, I'll just do social media. That way I don't have to make calls. and it's not going to generate enough business for you. I got 150, 160,000 followers. It's good for maybe 6 appointments a year. That's great. For me, it's great. I don't sell real estate, right? So I get 4 to 6 deals a year, or at least appointments a year out of that. And that's just kind of fun money and practicing to stay in the business for me. But for you guys, you want to be able to go get 12, 15 deals through your prospecting. Well, add that 4 to 6 on top of it. There's your steroids that it's talking about here. So don't just rely on it, but use it to enhance. So identify your demographic farms. Who are you going after? Understand these things and build your list of people you want to follow you on social media. Here's a sample for anybody that's interested. It shows you 7 different things that you can do each day. And again, you want to theme each day and do the same type of thing each week. Value, real estate expertise, community knowledge, property specialist, lifestyle, life stage, and then a common interest, something that, show behind the scenes. Mark your accomplishments. Planning saves time. Do we schedule your social media so you're not wasting time with it? Perception is everything. I fuel positive perceptions by posting content that demonstrates my value and experience. Talk about what you know. I target audiences who have similar interests, right? If I targeted boaters, I've had a boat for years, right? I talk to other boaters and I can give tips on that stuff. Shows I have similar interests in something that I know about. 1 minute a video is worth 8,000 words. Are you using video to stand apart from most realtors that won't? For anything that you would score less than 3 on this, what can you do to make yourself more successful? Let's put a plan together. Get your plan together and let's execute. How frequently do you pull? We're changing subject now to expireds. How frequently do you pull expireds from the MLS? Never, a few times a day, monthly, weekly, or daily. Guys, you should be pulling expireds every day. I'm not telling you maybe on the weekends, although I can tell you the best realtors will do expired 7 days a week. Because usually you can call through expireds that you can get their numbers for in 10, 15 minutes. So to get up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday or Sunday, or 9 o'clock really, and do that is a good spend of your time. But 5 days a week minimum, you should be pulling expired listings from the MLS.
So I have a question. I have a
Uh-huh.
question in regards to this expired list from the MLS.
Sure.
So if do we have to set a boundary in the sense, if I'm living here, it's nice to get just the Pasco County expired listing, or can we go beyond that as well?
You can go bigger. I have 4 lists that I pull every day, one for each of the 4 counties that we serve. Personally, if I was going after expireds because I live in Pasco County, I would only really call the Pasco County ones. I would send my email drip campaign and social media or any of those types of things to all 4 counties. But if I'm making phone calls, because here's the thing, or if I'm showing up at the houses, which is a great tactic to do with expired listings. From where I live, I'm not going to drive all the way down to Ruskin.
Yeah.
And even if I made an appointment, and again, I don't do this full time. If I did this full time, I might change my mind a little bit. If I was just selling real estate, but you've got to make a boundary of where you're comfortable going.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
want to go to do you want to go to Plant City? Do you want to go to St. Petersburg? Even where you are, do you want to ride all the way over to like Holiday or Tarpon Springs? So you have to kind of make those decisions.
All right.
So let me ask you this. How many new contacts did you make last week through expireds? How many people from all the calls that you made? And again, it should be a couple. You should be making 1 or 2 contacts every week, at least, by calling expireds daily. And it's not just about calling them once, it's about calling them, we have that 12 and 30 program and all those touches, calling them again and again and again and building a relationship until they make a decision of when they're going, when they're going to list their house, and hopefully with you. How many closed transactions did you have this month that came from contacting expired listings? Again, There's no reason you couldn't do 12, maybe even double that closings a month if you called expireds every day. What are the traits of a quality lead? Well, a quality lead, okay, expireds are an equality lead. Why? Because number one, we know they want to sell. And number two, we know they're willing to pay a real estate commission. What else do we know? We know they probably are dejected and feeling down. They may have an ill feeling towards their realtor, which may be to all realtors. We can overcome that because we know they want to sell and that they, at least up until they expired, which was yesterday, were willing to pay a real estate commission. Puts us way ahead of the game when we talk to them. Understand the mindset. They may be angry at all realtors, certainly their last realtor. You know, they were what I call a list them and leave them agent, right? That agent didn't follow up with them and didn't do anything, didn't market the house. More likely, they overpriced the property, and that agent allowed that. That's something that you're going to have a conversation with them. But that's okay, because by the time you're having that conversation, it means you're in a really good listing conversation. Understand what they feel, understand what they want. They want to believe that they are not at fault for the property not selling. They think the past agent is at fault, and that's what they want to feel. To keep the current listing price. They don't want to make a price correction. That's what they want, guys. They want to keep that same price, and they want to blame it all on the realtor. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't the pricing fault. It was the other realtor. So some objections you might face. Well, I'm going to list with the same agent. I always use the Einstein definition of insanity. Insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I have a postcard that I send that says that. I've decided not to sell. Okay. That's usually a blow off. But we're going to wait until the spring market. It's usually a blow off. I'd like to talk to other agents first. Great. Well, can I be one of those agents? How about, let's sit down. Let's go through this. And then you give them that agent qualifier that I've provided you guys in other trainings, which will derail any other person that comes in to do a listing appointment. Knowing the expired is frustrated and unhappy is my opportunity to provide value to win the business. Because once I understood I needed to know their mindset, I got really good at closing expireds. You have to understand their mindset. You have to be empathetic to them. That's what works. Another word to the wise. If on average you get an appointment from 1 out of every 3 expireds you call, you've got a good conversion ratio. If on average you contact more than 3 expireds to get 1 appointment, you have an opportunity to get better. So what does that mean? For every 3 expireds you get on the phone, you should be getting 1 appointment. Guys, that's pretty darn good. Considering today in Pasco County, there were, I don't know, 24, I think, expired listings. Now, are you going to get them all on the phone? Absolutely not. You're going to make dial after dial after dial and dial again and again to try to get them on the phone. But if I could just get 3 of them on, I'm going to get 1 appointment. And remember, going back to your goals, how many appointments do you need to have a week? For most people, it's less than 1 a week. So you're telling me that in a week, I can't get in touch, can't get 3 expired listings on the phone and get 1 appointment? There's 1 appointment a week, and I'm only doing 1 tactic. We're not talking about social media. We're not talking about for sale by owner, sphere of influence, farming, and whatever. So this is a tactic you absolutely want to make sure you're doing. The end game is a 4-step dialogue to get the appointment. Number 1, acknowledge the past agent failed. Number 2, confirm that they still want to sell. Number 3, allow them to talk about their property. The more, the better. Opening them up and having them share about themselves and their property is them opening up to you that they'll trust you and like you. And then 4th is close. Get the appointment. Again, step 2, confirm they still want to sell. Ask if they want to sell early in the conversation to reduce the chance the expired will sell. Well, I'm not going to sell. Use tie downs for agreements, phases that get expired to agree in the pattern of saying yes. You know, if I get somebody to buy this house for the price you had it listed, do you want that? Of course they do. Yes. Do you still want to sell? Yes. Allow them to talk about their property. Again, open up, open up, open up. Keep them talking about the property. It lets them explain maybe what they think went wrong. Maybe things that are, maybe there's something wrong with the property. Maybe something that, well, you know, our house doesn't have the extra library that the other houses in the neighborhood have. What does that open up for? When you get to the pricing conversation, you know, you have your house priced more than your neighbors, but your neighbor, as you said, has the library and you don't. If you were a buyer and you were the person that was thinking about buying your house today and you saw the two houses, would you consider buying your house for more money than the house next door that also has a library? Gets you moving in the right direction to answer these questions correctly and get them thinking in a different way, which will help them say, well, no, maybe we can't sell it for 550. Maybe we really need to be at 510, which is hopefully more in line with what it will sell for. Closing the appointment. Say the name of the neighborhood to reinforce your experience and credibility. When I worked in equestrian estates last time, when you know, oh, when I was in equestrian estates visiting my neighbor, when I was in Hidden Lake Estates, flying in my friend's airplane, you know, those types of things. Say grossly overpriced is not the problem because it's the truth, and will keep the expired in a positive mind frame. First reason is the property could be grossly overpriced. I don't necessarily believe your property is grossly overpriced. I would have to see if the property and do a little research to determine where it is in the market price range. You want, again, you're trying to find out what their intent is. Owner's responsible for fair price and delivering your property in good condition, right? You know, what if the property is failing because of the condition? What do you say? So these are all things that you can use, guys, and I can provide these to you. All right, so let's power up for next generation expireds. Block time in your calendar. I would say the earlier the better, 8 or 8:30. We did expireds here today. I had one of our agents and we went through it. I called somebody, it was 8:30, and it was a wrong number, but it was provided in my Red X, which is my calling feature. And Howard, what was going on? You've called me 5 times today. I said, sir, no, this is like the first call I've made all day. I said, you're on a list. How did I get on that list? Well, anyway, none of that matters. What matters is by 8:30, this guy had already received 5 calls, which means other agents are out there calling at 8 a.m. So I would say 8 a.m., if you can be up and about and getting on the phone, call expireds first. Always call expireds first. Create your hot sheet or your search criteria, grab those things, get in and get as many numbers as you can, and start calling your expireds. That's the first thing you do every day. Here's some campaigns. I have campaigns also that, you know, the this is a 7-day campaign where you touch them 7 times. And it's week 1, you call, week 2, you email, week 3, you call, week 4, you email. After you get past those 7 days. And then what you do forever is you call, you social media mail, and you can see down the list each month just to stay in touch and stay top of mind. Some people do pull. I was very good at about 8-10 years ago when I was doing this with my agents, very good at getting people that were 4, 6, 8 months expired to list with me. Some people do pull it off the market and just wait. All right, for sale by owners. How frequently do you search for sale by owners? I would tell you that you only need to search for sale by owners once a month, okay? Once a month, once a week, I'm sorry, or a couple times a week tops. They do come on the market. You should always actually be searching for them every time you drive around in your car. And if you see them, you should take a picture of the address and take a picture of the sign with the phone number on it. So you should be searching every day. As far as going online and searching, I would say about once a week, twice a week tops. How many new contacts did you make last week for sale by owners? Okay, we tried that again this morning too. Let's see, I made 1, 2, 3. I spoke to 6 people in 20 minutes of calls, guys. 6 people. By the way, you guys should have been here with me that early because I scheduled 3 appointments and have 2 other people calling me back. For sell by owners, if you know what to say and how to say it, is like shooting fish at a barrel. So this is asking how many last week. Today I had more than 5. I made more than 5 contacts with for sale by owners. It is not a hard thing to do. The hard thing is to not get combative with them and to build a relationship. And again, I have all the programs for you to be able to do that. How many did you close last month from for sale by owner? You should be closing at least 1 a month, if not 2 a month by for sale by owner. If you're calling them regularly and consistently and following up with them, this is a group. 9 out of 10 of them end up listing with a realtor. Most realtors are afraid to call them. Most realtors won't call them. And the ones that do call them only call them once or twice. If you follow up, you will get the lion's share in your area of for sale by owners. Jump on it and do it. Again, quality leads. What are the quality leads traits of a FSBO? They want to sell. We want to sell. Are they willing to pay a real estate commission? Perhaps not to you, especially in the beginning. Most of them, however, will pay at least to a buyer's agent, which is how we slip our foot in the door and start having a conversation and go to meet with them. So there's still a quality lead. Why for sale by owners matter? For sale by owner data, 2021 NAR profile, there are 6.12 million existing homes. 7% of them are by FSBOs. There's a lot of them. Look at the price difference. Again, this is not stats you want to throw in their face because this is when they go like this and stomp their feet like a kid at Toys R Us and don't listen to you. But the median price sold by a for sale by owner is $260,000. The median price by an agent assisted is $318,000. If I charge 6%, which I always do, or even 7%, which way they ended up making more money? With me, because I can sell it for that much more. What's the most difficult tasks for sale by owner? Number 1 is getting the price right. They never get the price right. They shouldn't say never. They rarely get the price right. Understanding and performing paperwork. Great, I got somebody. Now, how do I get a contract? Where do I even find a contract? Selling within the length of time planned. Even if a for sale by owner sells on their own, which again, 9 out of 10 of them end up listing with a realtor at this point, it takes them 9 to 12 months longer than if they listed with a realtor. Wait a minute, I wanted to be moved before Memorial Day. And guess what? That's not happening. Selling within the length of time planned, 10%. Okay, I just said that one, sorry. Preparing for fixing up the home for sale, 6%. Having enough time to devote to all aspects of the sale. Guess what? You guys have been through sales. You're realtors. There's a lot of work that goes, especially contracting to close. Helping the buyer obtaining financing. They have no clue. And then none or nothing. 50%. Yeah, okay. FSBOs need you. They just don't know it yet. And I need you to know that and believe that and be able to speak to that. The misunderstanding is agents assume that FSBOs, the FSBO is a FSBO because they want to save on commission. What does a FSBO really want? They want to sell their property in the least amount of time. They want to net the most amount of money, and they want to have the least amount of hassle. Those 3 things are all a cry for a realtor. That's what we do to make that happen. FSBOs object to paying a commission because they don't know how to calculate how you can net them more money. You got to be able to tell that story. And there's a bunch of ways to tell that story. First of all, the owner will sell their house for $400,000. If you sell it for $464,000, it's $16,000 more. If you charge 6%, that's $27,000. They're walking away with $436,160. On average, a FSBO stays on the market 9 to 12 months more. If you have carrying costs, let's just say your carrying costs are $2,500 a month for your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, your utilities. How many months? And you're on well, let's call it $2,500 a month, and you're on the market for 6 months more, right? What does that mean? It means you're going to be $30,000 out, right? Did I do the math right on that? No. Yeah, 25 by 6. Anyway, you're going to be 30,000, you're going to be $15,000 out. Sorry. You're going to be out of money that you have to put out of pocket. So there's two different ways of explaining that, both in the favor of them hiring a realtor. The end game, it's a high conversion on FSBOs. Guys, right now it's 9 out of 10. Checklist sources, how do you find FSBOs? Yard signs, drive through different neighborhoods, guys. One of my 17 ways to find prospects is taking different routes home from wherever you go. Third-party aggregators. I have a subscription to RedX. I get them from there. I love it. For sale by owner websites, online classifieds, social networking. Go into Facebook Marketplace, you'll find them. The grocery store, if they allow you to hang flyers, the hardware store, places like that, even the laundromat. Some sample dialogues to get the appointment. Number one, you need to acknowledge the property is still available, right? Always, when we do my IICCC, identify. Hi, I was calling about your property. Is it still for sale? Confirm they're willing to consider an agent. After you introduce yourself, find out. If I were to, even if I were to consider having if I had a buyer who would buy your place, would you pay me a commission? That's one easy way to do it. Allow them to talk about their property. I want to hear what it is, and I want to hear what they're committed to. Where are you looking to move? When are you looking to move? Why are you looking to move? And then get a tour of the property. And you can see, I kind of went through all these already, so I'll just kind of fly through these bullets or through these slides. All right. The end game, touring the FSBO's property. The intent is you build rapport by asking questions, you listen to their answers, repeating their answers so they know they were heard, and then offer solutions. As rapport increases, the FSBO's trust and confidence in you increases. Rapport. Finding out what they're committed to. Huge. Most agents do a bait and switch by setting the expectation of a tour and immediately going into a listing presentation. Or they do the tour and don't offer any additional information. Guys, 50% of tours will likely translate to a listing presentation. Maybe not the first time through, but according to these statistics, they will. I like building a relationship over time because the person likes me and trusts me more. Winning it with FSBOs, the word of the wise. At first, I was hesitant to call FSBOs. Why would they want to talk to me when they don't want to pay a commission? Not everyone likes to be sold, but everyone likes to be helped. Understand the difference. Not everyone likes to be sold, but everyone likes to be helped. And FSBOs need my help. Again, you need to believe that. They do need your help. And you need to be able to teach them and show them how and why. And that's what we're doing here today.
Yeah, I had a question always about FSBOs. I
Sure.
mean, why do they want to? In spite of letting them know, I mean, what's the percentage of us getting success in in this FSBOs?
Well,
When you try to
nine out of 10
convince.
FSBOs eventually list with an agent. So that means if you call 10 FSBOs, 9 of them are either going to list with you or somebody else.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So practice the sample dialogue to get the FSBO tour. I use scripts in the class that we did before. I can get you the scripts again. And what you want to do is practice. And we're going to do that tomorrow in Script Mastery. All right. So here's some campaigns. If you want to take a picture of the slide, you certainly can. But this is what you do, 7 touches in 7 days, what you do in the first 4 months, and what you do with forever, staying in touch with them, building a rapport and building a relationship until they list. All right, open houses. Another great way to get now business. How often do you do traditional open houses or virtual open houses? You should be doing at least one a month. They're a great way to meet potential clients. We're not doing these to find buyers, guys. Buyers, and you're going to see the statistic in a couple slides here. Something like 4% of people find their house, buy a house from an open house. We're looking for potential sellers. People that go to open houses are usually in the pre-contemplation. Well, honey, laying in bed, wife says to the husband, we're having another baby. Maybe we need another bedroom. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm on my iPad. There's an open house in that neighborhood we've been curious about. Oh, let's go over and check it out. That person's not ready to buy a house today. They sold the house they're in, but they are pre-contemplation, and they can meet you, and you can build a relationship with them and get them ready to sell and get that listing. So you should be doing an open house at least once a month. How many contracts did you make last week from an open house? Right? Shouldn't you be getting at least one a month if you're working an open house a month? Absolutely. How many closed transactions? Again, at least one closed transaction a month. I would think you'd get 2 or 3, at least 2 appointments from working an open house. Here it is. 4% of buyers purchased a home they saw at an open house. That means 96% of buyers didn't come from an open house. If open houses don't sell homes, what is your benefit of working them? Well, it's part of your lead strategy. You're looking for future business here, people that are ready to go in a month, 2 months, 3 months. That's why we do it. Why open houses matter. Percentage of agents are using open houses as part of their marketing strategy to sell homes. Very small, guys. Most realtors farm out their open houses. They give it to a new agent. The new agents that do these don't know what they're doing because they've never been trained unless they're taking my classes. And so this is opportunities lost. When you have an opportunity to do an open house, do the open house. Go there with the premise of, I don't care whether I find a buyer for a house. I'm looking for people that are going to be potential sellers of their houses. And that's why they came here, because they're in the pre-contemplation stage. When you approach an open house with the intent of finding leads and setting appointments, it changes your mindset from sitting, people look at it like they're babysitting, an open house, to working an open house. The end game, lead setting with appointments. Checklist to pick the right listing for an open house. Will this attract your ideal client? We all have different ideals in our head of what we want as a client. Is it desirable? In other words, is it priced correctly? Is it conditioned correctly? Is it newer to the market? It's another decision when you're planning which open houses you're going to work. Is it accessible? Close to major roads, not in a gated community. That's a pain in the neck down here, let me tell you, in Florida. Is it near public transportation if it's for first-time home buyers, maybe? Or you're near a big city. We don't really have that in Florida, but for anybody that's watching on YouTube and you may be in different markets, there you go. Strategic. For example, is it comparable price point to the business plan in the market where you want to do more business? If somebody calls you and says, can you do an open house for me, somebody in your office, and it's 45 minutes or an hour from your house, which is very likely in our office because we have agents spread everywhere, you may not want to do that, because do you want to start doing all your business 45 minutes or an hour away? Probably not. But if somebody that's 10 minutes away and it's in a neighborhood that you want to get into, absolutely. So keep that in mind. Okay, promoting the open house. Ask who you do know instead of do you know, to get homeowners thinking of names. Who do you know that you can invite to this, and get them, always get the homeowner to help. Call people, let them know, hey, this house is for sale. Call the neighbors. Do you know anyone? Offer to send valuable information such as market updates, neighborhood news. Add them to your sphere of influence and follow up with a campaign. Repeat the day and time. Again, I have this open house. It's coming up this Saturday, 1 to 3 o'clock, 123 Main Street. So they know, and it's engraved in their head. Try and get them there. All right. Promoting the open house. Generate interest the morning before open house by posting a video with you in front of the house to social media. I used to have an agent, he used to do it the night before. Great idea. And go live, which gets you way more people going. Only provide a sneak peek during the video. Sell the sizzle, not the steak. I remember I used to have a guy that I knew that was a sales manager used to say that, right? You show them the whole house, guess what? They're not going to come out. Do it from outside. Oh, I can't wait for you to see this incredible house, blah, 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 blah. And really sell it. And after, create a bit of fear of missing out by posting a video during the open house by showing a number of visitors. This place is jamming. You better get over here and do it quick. Build rapport by introducing yourselves and asking visitors their names. Always talk to the people when they come in. Introduce yourself. Get their information. What brought you here today? Find out what they're committed to. Wow, can you picture yourself living here? It looks like a great place, you know, for your family, blah, 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 blah. If they're not interested in this property, find out what they are. Are they actually ready? What kind of property would they be looking for? Have your laptop there and show them properties that may interest them. Hey, I finish here at 3 o'clock. Maybe we can meet at 3:30. I've got 2 or 3 of these places we can go see. Ask them for an appointment before they leave the open house. Build rapport by introducing yourself and asking the visitors' names. Get to know them by gathering information, establishing connections, by asking powerful questions. Always be flexible. Ask follow-up questions relevant to their specifics, and ask for an appointment by offering a free, no obligation CMA. You own a house now. Let's find out how much it's worth. I do a free CMA. Everybody should get one. You know, current market analysis. Everybody should get one every 2 years. If you haven't had one in 2 years, let me do that, especially if you're thinking about selling. Plan for open houses, 7 days. Or I'm sorry, this is FISBOs again. I don't know why that's there. Okay, redo that. How frequently do you prospect to a geographic farm? Have you created a farm? And if you do, are you calling them? Are you getting on the phone once a week and calling some people in your farm? You should be. Let's talk more about it. How many contacts did you make last week at your farm? People that maybe, you know, you're calling them for the first time, or you're putting them in, and so they're in your sphere of influence and they're getting to know you. You're building rapport with them. And how many closed transactions did you get last month? You should be getting 6 deals a year from a farm minimum. Why geographic farming matters, word of the wise. Uncertainty in the market means homeowners are more interested in having real estate conversations with agents. Do we have uncertainty right now? Absolutely. We have for the last year or so. I use market updates as an opportunity to connect and communicate with homeowners in my geographic farm. Talk about what's happening in their market. Send them information about what's going on in the market, whether it's through email, through its traditional mailings, whether it's through telling them on the phone. Really, the best thing you do is mail it and then call them and say, hey, did you get that report? Let's talk about it. Building relationships. What is a mindset? What's the mindset of a homeowner? They want to know how the market's doing. They always want to know how the market's doing. More importantly, they want to know how the market's doing in their house. How much is their house worth? Do I care what my neighbor's house is worth, right? I actually just have one of my neighbor's houses went on sale for 1.25 million across the street from me. I was like, oh, wow, yeah. You know, but does that really change the value of it could, but it's, you know, what's more important? What's the value of my house? Objections. I'm not interested in selling. If I did sell, I don't know where I would go because there's nothing in the market. The price of where I want to move has increased too much. These are things that you need to be able to talk about and overcome. And again, when you're in these conversations, you can. I'm not interested in selling. Oh, okay. When do you think you might be interested? You know, when are you thinking about making a move? Well, I want to wait until my wife retires and my husband retires in 6 months or whatever. Okay, now I have a time frame. If I didn't sell it, there's nothing on the market. You know what? There's always there are new houses coming on the market all the time. We had, and look in the MLS, we had 154 houses listed on the market just this morning in our MLS, probably more than that in our MLS. Prices where I want to move has increased too much. Well, let's talk about your house increasing, because usually the markets increase across at the same level. If you wait for that property to maybe go down in price, I'm not saying it will, but if you did wait for that, chances are your house would have decreased in price too. So it's going to be the same, you know, net when you come down to it of how much you're going to spend, you know, doing this. Plan for the long haul. Choose the right farm, something that's close to you. Estimate your marketing costs. we grabbed her, I believe it was 10 or 12,000 names, email addresses, and phone numbers. Great, but you know, Mackenzie probably can't afford to send 10,000, 12,000 postcards every month. So what we did was we made a farm where we could do emailing and things like that. And then we made a farm within the farm where she can really target them, you know, by sending postcards and things like that to maybe like 500 or 600 people. Figure out how many homes, how many sold in the last 10 months. What's the turnover rate? What's the average sales price? How many days on average were they on the market? How many listings are there now? And then your monthly rate of home sales, you know, how many of them are actually selling? And again, use 2 or 3 farms and compare these numbers to pick out the farm that's right for you. Competition. Are there a lot of people in there farming? One of the things that was really great for Mackenzie, and again, because of where she lives, there's so much new construction, and some of these houses now are 5, 6, 10 years old. There are not a lot of people farming it because they're new. You go grab an established community, it's been around 20, 30, 40 years, you might have 10 agents farming it. All things to consider when you're picking your farm, putting your farm together. But great word to the wise here. Don't be afraid to farm a neighborhood where there's another agent doing marketing. Just be smart about it. Is that agent really well known? Are they in front of a lot of people all the time? Maybe they do a little marketing. In that case, it's probably easy to overtake that farm and become the agent they think about when people list their home. If you're going up against somebody that's got TV ads and things like that, guess what? It's going to be a little bit harder. So again, I just want you to be smart and think about what it is you're trying to do when you look at who you're competing with. And don't be afraid to have an agent or two in there with you. It's not the end of the world. All right, circle prospecting. You know, it's circle prospecting. It has to do with farming too, but it's when you call and say, you know, hey, did you know that the house in your neighborhood just sold or was just listed? The whole idea is to build rapport, get to know information about them. And I usually do it like this. Hey, I was calling because, you know, your neighbors at 123 Main Street just put their house for sale. We're expecting this to be, or it is sold it, either way. We're expecting this to be really busy and a lot of buyers. Do you know anybody else that might be interested in selling their home? Don't put the pressure right on them. You know, actually, you know, I have, blah, 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 blah. Or you go into, no, we really haven't. Okay, well, let me ask you, when was the last time you had a market evaluation done on your house? What's that? Boom, you go in and you make an appointment for a market evaluation. If you do circle prospecting once a week, twice a week, just spend an hour calling through a neighborhood. If not, you're going to definitely make at least 2 or 3 appointments a month. They are a power of number appointments. I would say 1 out of 4 or 1 out of 5 will actually turn into a listing right then and there, but they will allow you to build rapport, to get to know, you know, more people and build your sphere of influence. And long term, you're going to get clients from doing this. Okay. Farming supports for sell by owners, expireds, open houses, social media, and vice versa. Your visible presence in your farm brings you validity of being a neighborhood expert when you work FSBOs, expireds, and open houses. What does that mean? How many of you exercise outside? Anybody exercise outside? Yeah, I do too. If you farm your neighborhood, it makes it real simple. I have a dog. People recognize me because my dog, you notice my dog's on my marketing? That's why, right? Because people know the dog more than they're going to know me, right? Yeah. So with that being said, even if you do the neighborhood across from you, which is actually what I do, my neighborhood is a very specialized neighborhood because it's an airport community. You guys don't really need to know this, but it's an airport community. And my neighbor across the street is a realtor. Her husband's a pilot. They own a private plane and blah, blah, blah. I don't know anything about flying. I'm a boater. So I do the neighborhood across the way. So for me, when I go out to walk, I get out of my neighborhood and head over there. so people see me. The familiarity, you see me walk the neighborhood, even when I'm dealing with a for sale by owner in there or an expired in there. Oh yeah, I know that guy. They may never have spoken to me ever, even if I door knock, but they feel like they do because they've seen me. It's the familiarity. They see me at the grocery store. So pick a farm that's close to your home, guys. It just makes more sense. All right. So your plan for long term. We want now business, we want future business. Now business comes from prospecting. Who do we prospect to? For sale by owners, expireds, open houses. We move more to the middle with farming when we get to the marketing side, which is future business. Farming, internet leads, social media. See, expireds are in the middle. Most expireds, you're going to get that business out. Some of them, they're a little bit more of a project because they might pull the house off the market. We want to be working always for now business and future business, guys, and using this variety. And, you've heard me talk about this before, the spokes in a bicycle wheel, right? The more variety that we use, the better we're going to do. Systemize to get any point with a geographic farm. You can door knock. Oh, this TV just came on. You mute it. All right. Door knock. Here's one of the things I would tell you guys, that most new agents don't farm because they're like, oh my God, I can't afford it. And you know what? Quite honestly, farming can cost you $500 to $1,000 a month. And if you're a new agent, you're not closing 2 deals a month, you probably can't or don't want to afford that. You don't need to. You'll see here a 12-month plan, and I have 12-month plans I do. In this plan, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mailers. That's great because, again, this class is for advanced agents that are making $100,000 a year or more. And you know what? That's perfect. If you're in this class, though, and you're not at that point, we can do things. And when we do our farming training in Step Ahead boot camp, for those of you that haven't taken that yet, you'll find that we do things like neighborhood yard sales, neighborhood happy hour, events, a neighborhood barbecue, things that don't cost really any money, that get you right in front of people and get you in there. And door knocking is one of those great things because you can create a door hanger. You can make a flyer and print it, cost you nothing, and go around and be seen in the neighborhood, and it's powerful. So get a farming plan together no matter where you are in your career. Again, if you are, somebody that's, enrolled in this class, you're making 100,000 or more a year, use the mailing because you don't have the time. Hopefully, because you're too busy with clients and things like that. But if not, okay, if not, use, if you're not doing that, use some of the tactics that we're showing here, like door knocking, like social media, like a neighborhood open house. I do two of those a year. They cost you next to nothing, and they get you where your neighbors know who you are and what you do for a living.
Thank you so very much. I mean, I never